What's going on, everybody? Psycho Black here with the Psycho Squad today, and we're going to be talking about Alien Covenant. We have some news and speculation as to how Prometheus ties into Alien Covenant, along with some theories about David, the android himself. So I want to get into this, and I want to mention the first nod from Prometheus to Alien Covenant is this. Here we have a picture from Alien Covenant where it seems to be you see the engineers and one of the cast members in between the engineers, which it looks like the ship. And this is also confirmed because here in Prometheus we have David, who is into the cockpit area of where the engineers are sleeping. Now, what's notable about this is that we could find Shaw asleep in here. She is rumored to have, or not rumored, she is confirmed actually, to have a part in the movie. It's not major. It's very small, very minimal. It's not going to have any major point in the story that they said, but we could find Shaw. What if David actually left her asleep? David fucked pretty much everybody over in the first Prometheus movie, or in Prometheus. And what if he left Shaw asleep since he's an android and doesn't really need to sleep? We know the movie takes place 10 years later. So maybe David left her, and that's where they find Shaw, or maybe there's something else, and David kind of redirects him, says, "Hey, don't go in there. We don't need you to go in there." So we'll see what happens along with that. But another thing I want to talk about is the ship eggs. Now, something that struck my mind when I was rewatching Prometheus is that watching Prometheus and then watching the trailer is that this looks like it's also in the ship. And what's most notable about this is that we see the same thing here in Prometheus, except these are the green vials with the black ooze surrounding them that liquefies and turns them into uncontrollable monsters. Now, what's notable about this is that this is a biological weapon that was used to the engineers wanted to use it to kill humans. They wanted to get rid of us. So these could be another type of weapon that the engineers were manifesting inside their ships. Although it is not a biological weapon, it could be a transmitted disease or just a weapon in general. Maybe not even to get rid of people, but just to create an army. Who knows what for? But this does look similar. These are some notable shots. Although this seems to be a lot bigger because it was in the pyramid, this seems like it would be on the ship for who knows what purpose. The next thing I want to talk about is these green vials that are in here. So if you guys are wondering what those vials were, and if you don't remember what I'm talking about these. These vials were seen inside those canisters. Now, these vials are, I believe, very crucial to Alien Covenant. I believe that these vials and what is inside of them, which was the little spores that were inside that David's shaking around in there, are very, very crucial to Alien Covenant. And the reason behind that is, do you remember this scene in Alien Covenant where this ooze inside the vial looks just like the engineer when he was getting disassembled or, destroyed from the weapon? Well, doesn't that look just like this? Doesn't those spores look identical to the spores in Covenant? Now, we see them in little tiny sacks. So that could be a new type of weapon. That could be a new type of way that it was dropped. Who knows? But it is black, and it could be a hardened part of the canister ball that we see that the vials are being held in. We don't know, but for sure that those are very, very connected to each other. After watching Prometheus and seeing this scene from Covenant, I really believe that whatever is going into there is going to mess with them just the way it did to Holloway and Farfield in Prometheus. Now, before we get there, I want to go out here and say I believe that David killed the engineers. Maybe not all of them, but he started killing engineers. And my proof and my claim to back that up is this. So we see all of these people. Maybe these are not all engineers. This does look like some sort of civilization. But what do you think could kill this many people in a standstill? What do you think? The answer, guys, the answer is this. These green vials were in a ship, or to be put in a ship to be dropped off on Earth that was going to kill millions. So if these vials came down, imagine they were dropped from the ship, green vial cracks open, spores are out in the open, people breathe them in, dead. They turn into crazy monsters just like Farfield and Holloway, and they just completely, get obliterated, destroyed. And that looks like something like this. Maybe this was a human civilization, and this was one of the from Prometheus. the engineers came here and killed them, and David finds some engineers on here and he murders them, and or cuts them down and experiments on them, or tries to see what they're actually made of. So that's what I believe, that the green canisters were used on this planet to destroy it. Now, another thing I want to mention here is that these bodies here, do they look any similar? Do they look any similar? This is my claim to back up that the vials did this. So check this out. Look at that. That's from Prometheus. They look maybe not identical, but they look very similar. You see the black char, or not even char. It doesn't look like they were burned. It looks like they had some sort of interior infection. Check this out. It just, they look, you can see the black all over the head. You can also see it here on Holloway. He has the black infection all over his head. It's spreading into his eyes, sort of like what the Prometheans look like. They had, the engineers look, I keep trying to say engineers, but referring to Prometheus. So forgive me. What the engineers look like, they have the solid black eyes. Now here, this looks just, you can't really see the eyes. You can't see anything, but you can see the blackened body. They don't look burned. Whatever did this definitely did not burn them. Maybe a blast or something, but I don't think that they were burned. And I believe the figure there is David walking through into the palace, where in that palace he has his research of the engineers, and he's studying them. Here we can see an extensive lab, and you see an engineer on the examining table, and you also see an engineer in the little posters or painting, whatever you want to call it. The xenomorph is about to pounce on whoever this is here. Maybe they find this later on throughout the movie, but this looks like where David might have been experimenting and doing a lot of things. Now, one thing that I do want to mention is that I feel like David is doing this because he has sort of a god essence in him. David is feeling more godly than ever. He feels more of like how do you say, his curiosity is what led him to destroy a lot of people in the first film. Now, when I say destroyed, I don't mean extensively. I don't think David did it on purpose. I think he did it without him even knowing. His conscious, he doesn't have a right or wrong. He just wants to know the answers and the truth. And something that I find really notable about this is, check this out. This is from a still from the Alien Covenant teaser trailer. You see, this was the first trailer ever, that David is wearing white. Now, what's notable about him wearing white is the fact that every villain in a story is wearing white because they believe what they're doing is pure. They believe that they are the savior. They are trying to do the best that they can, when ultimately they're leading everybody to their deaths. I believe that this is David. I believe that David is idolizing himself. And the reason I say that is, we get more into this. Check it out down here. We have an engineer that David has pinned up in a twisted kind of way. Now, the engineer is like shaved off. Half the body, you can see the muscles, and the other part is the skin. Now, does this look familiar to any of you guys? Does this look remotely familiar? If it does, that's because it is actually the statue of David. Yeah, that's right. It is the statue of David. They are in the exact same position, just in opposite looking directions. And I believe that David is doing this because in Prometheus, we see David getting extensive knowledge of languages, of movies. So why not paintings? Why not sculptures and things like that? And to recreate himself, and the only kind of person that would recreate themselves is someone with a god essence, someone who wants to be remembered. If he's killing the so-called creators of the humans, maybe that would put David on top, making him more powerful than his creators. Who knows what David's thing is, but I feel like David is going to be on some crazy shit in this movie for sure. So I don't know, guys. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys think I'm onto something, if you guys think I'm totally off and lost and I need to change my mind and just stop talking about aliens in general, I have no idea. But if you guys like this, please give us a thumbs up. Check out our social media if you want to talk to us off videos and streams. You can look at our Discord chat in there. You can join that. It's open to everybody. We also do live streams and gaming videos, uploads, all that good stuff, guys. So please, thank you for checking us out, and we will see you guys in the next video. Deuces.